my situation right here, which looks so unbearably bad. Okay, so if you all are in Army of Weirdos, or if you've heard me talk about it, I saw this video where you held a fork over a flame, you got it hot, you melted holes into a zipper, polyester zipper, uh, on the sides, and you could crochet into those. That was such a grueling and horrible process. I might have ruined one of my forks. It definitely looks like sketchy as hell. So I decided to take one of my steels that's in a weird size that I don't use, and those seem to work better. However, it's one at a time with these, so it's pretty interesting. And take off this overlay. I did that before. So it's going a little bit faster, but I have to get this done today. I have to finish my sewing today. I've got to get the pillow done today. So I was like, even though this is so painful, just as a process to do literally one at a time, this is what I'm doing. So I gotta wait for the hook to get hot enough to go through the polyester fabric, and I do have a towel too if the hook starts to heat up towards my hand. This is dumb. There's got to be a better way. I wish I had time to figure out the better way, but as of now, I don't. So the thing about this that I do like is that I can make the holes bigger, because you can maybe kind of see here. This is what I've been able to make, and yes, there's burnt plastic around the holes and changing how they look, but the holes here are what are made, if not just started, with the fork, and they're much closer together, whereas I can kind of gauge kind of manually how much they are, how far they are apart, with just doing one at a time. Sorry, I have to keep a window open. Burning plastic. That's all I'll say. So I'm using a 1.6 millimeter hook, because I was like, that's a random ass size. Sometimes like they go through right away, and sometimes they take a while to go through. This sucks. This sucks so much. And while I could just sew it to the fabric, like I'm going to do anyways, it still doesn't connect the fabric to the crochet. See, look, that one went through super easy. So yeah, so it's like, okay, well, I think I have to do this as part of my, like, attaching the zipper to the whole project and getting it to look nice and neat. But right now it looks like hot garbage. It's gonna take a while, so that one was nice and fast. Here I can make size for larger hooks than a fork would. The one with the forks, you use a pretty small hook, meaning that your yarn needs to be more appropriately sized. This is for the fucking birds, y'all. Like, this sucks. It sucks so hard. Not a big fan of it myself. So yeah, if you are doing something that is definitely way less strange than this, please let me know. If you have any potential tips on how to make this faster, I'm all ears, because this is outrageous. So this zipper is 22 inches. I don't need the whole 22 inches of the zipper to be done, because at the pillow is only 16 inches wide. So I'm definitely gonna have like leftover that I don't have to do. But this is dumb, and it looks dumb. It feels dumb. I hate this. I the, I didn't notice how bad the fumes were getting to me until like later last night when I had been trying for like hours and only had made it like about 4 inches the into the project, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is soul sucking and time sucking, and I don't have time for really any of those things. Hi Rudy, welcome in. So these holes will be where I attach the zipper. Actually, if you say more, if you say when you say something doesn't mean it's going to happen faster. Anyways, but yes, I get to hear the outside very well because I have my pillow window, weird, open. The good thing about melting plastic like this is that when you have that hole, you have extra plastic, that extra plastic that you're pushing out of the way, as kind of like around it. Okay, cool. And so it kind of secures, it kind of like reinforces the hole a little bit. I'm going to try to keep the holes on the other side of the zipper relatively even so that my stitches like line up and everything. Okay, this one's just not wanting to go through. Also, so this is a wood candle that I got gifted. That's really the only candle I have. But I'm thinking maybe it's not putting off as much heat, and maybe that's why this is, like didn't go well with the fork technique. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe woodwick candles or the I don't know enough about candles to know if like that's if they just this burns at like a lower temperature, therefore that's why I had a harder problem. But switching to the crochet hook definitely helped. I think that if I found this out sooner, I definitely could have been done, if not almost done with it already, but I tried so hard to make the fork method work. Just like the video that I shared on Army of Weirdos, it just did not work for me. So here I am doing this. Now I'm going to put more holes than I need just so that I don't have to revisit this fabulous journey of burning up fork and having all this stuff like charred around me. It's like it doesn't inspire a lot of faith in what I'm doing here. I think so. So actually, this is the top of the zipper, so this is where it is. I love Carrie, Crystal. Got a lot of good friends over here on YouTube. So basically, I'm leaving like really late tomorrow night or really early Thursday morning, depending on. Wait, what's today? I'm so confused. Today's Wednesday. So really late tomorrow night or early Friday morning. There we go. To get on my flight to go back home. It's very. Thank you for the time. Now, sometimes if the plastic starts to melt back around it as you're doing the you're making the hole. You have to kind of go in and work around it because it can get stuck in there, and that's always super fun. Or let's say that you went in and tried to make a hole, but it didn't quite go through. You can maneuver around it. But yeah, I've had the most success with this. I'm gonna take the zipper down because I think that it might be getting in the way just a little bit. I purposely got a zipper that was longer, and granted, zippers were really hard to get shipped to me. I don't know why, but there was like a huge problem with like getting the right size zipper. So I kind of just got what I could get from Walmart. I don't know. They just were like, I could put it in my cart. They said it was available, and then all of a sudden they were like, "There's a problem." I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So I got the 22-inch in the hopes of getting one that's a little longer than what I need. So even though there will be holes in this, I'm going to sew the zipper onto the fabric that I'm going to sew next after I finish all of the holes here. And then I'm going to crochet the pillow and zipper together. You feel how hot that is. Okay, so we're so close to finishing one side, everyone. Like, what's that noise? It's a bird. Just a bird. You don't think your windows do a lot of noise cancellation until you have them open, then you're like, oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so this is not my preferred method. If I ever do this again, I'm gonna try to spend some time finding a better way to do this because I don't like this at all. This sucks. Okay, so I'm just going to that point, and then I'm going to start working on the holes for the other side. I'm gonna work on everything, around the zipper area before I zip it back up, which is gonna make holding onto it, keeping my tension really tight, a little bit harder. Also, be very gentle to not burn yourself, because this thing is super hot. But try to keep your spacing relatively even if you can, and try to keep your holes a decent size so that you can insert your crochet hooks. But, at this point, we're just doing our best, y'all. Okay, so I didn't have that hot enough. I'll turn that one in there. See, it's just like, sometimes it's just like, oh, it goes through so quickly. Sometimes, nope, not at all. Okay, so I'm kind of mark off my next one. This should be the last one I do without the zipper pulled up. Lay that down, pull the zipper up. So I'll let you see kind of what is going. So this is where I started, and then what I've kind of done through most of the live thus far. It's going a lot faster with the crochet hook, with the steel hook that I have, but it's a slow process. You smell a lot of burnt plastic. There's got to be a better way. I just don't know what it is. So maybe we can brainstorm ideas another day. I can't. I'm at the point where like I can't try another method and have it fail on me so spectacularly that I'm like I said it was open to suggestions, but like unless I'm like I'm almost definite that that will work, I'm not even going to try anything else um, because I can't afford to waste time with something that doesn't work. Does that make sense? Like not in a rude way, but just like this has been such a task and a half that I just nope. Hard pass. Thank you, Rudy. See, that went through just so easily. If they could all go through that easily, I would just really appreciate that. But will they? No. So yeah, I know this is like I don't want to say ghetto arts and crafts, but this is just like this just doesn't feel good. I'm fucking done. I'm so tired of I just want this pillow to be done. And I like was gonna do the pillowcase. I could skip the pillowcase and just crochet this directly to the bottom. I think a lot of the spacing, especially well, that part probably won't even come into contact, but a lot of the spacing, like, there's no way I'm going to fit a 6.5mm hook into any of these holes. I think 4 might be like the max for most of them. I'm trying to make, them as big as possible while also continuing like the moving of like getting things done. So like maybe I'll go with like 3. So with the 6.5 stitches, so maybe that's like 2. Then I'm trying to keep my spacing relatively even. So maybe if I do a 2mm and I do I'll just skip the inside cover. I don't feel as good about it, but I don't feel terrible enough to like. I feel like that's just going to add an element, and I'm at that point where I need to get things done. So I think I'm going to skip the inside liner, even though I think that's a good plan. And if I had to do it again, and I had the time that I wanted to do it, I would do it. I don't think that it's a good call of like timeliness with what I'm working with. Does that make sense? What does everyone else think? Because I don't know if anyone saw my live yesterday. So I was kind of turning my pillow inside and out. I'd finished my surface crochet on the Team Jacob side, and I was tying off the sides, making sure everything was sealed. Like all the ends were sealed with having been like melted, and then I then it was because it originally was like maybe I'll do fabric tack and like do like a piece of cotton or something over it, just kind of making sure that none of the ends get caught when someone tries to put a pillowcase in it. But then I just really I don't want to get the letters or the text to get mangled when someone tries to do anything either on the front or back of it, but I ain't got time for that. Hi, Angela. Angela Precious World, welcome in, welcome in. I know it looks really freaking weird what I'm doing right now, but so this all started because I saw someone who used a fork over a candle got the ends really hot and used them to poke holes in the sides of a zipper. It has to be polyester, it can't be a cotton zipper. And so they use that to poke holes in the side. It did not really work for me, and I had to go through a lot of testing. But what I've found is working best for me right now is I'm using one of the steel hooks that I have just lying around. This is a 1.6 millimeter hook, so just something really random that, you know, if it gets ruined, it's not really a huge deal because I probably would never use it. It came in one of those cheap kits. And I'm burning holes into the sides of the zipper so I can crochet into the zipper itself. But how are you? What are you up to? I feel like I had to explain what I was doing because I know that the screen right here looks really freaking weird, and I know if I rolled up on it, I'd be like, "What is happening?" So I just feel like I owe everyone who walks in an explanation. It's just, I mean, it honestly, like, there's so many things that look so sketchy about this. I know, I know, I know. But but I'm getting to the point where my sister's wedding is coming up so soon. It's this week that I just don't have time to try other things or to like if something's kind of working, you just have to roll with it. You know, like those craft deadlines, and you just like, yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it. And unfortunately, like this is the best I got. So we're just gonna hopefully work with it. Keep getting like a notification, but then it goes away so fast that I don't know what it is. It's probably that I'm on mute. But hopefully my audio is fine because you're getting it through my phone. But when I try to switch it up and do audio through my computer, I get that crazy like feedback echo loop thing, and it drives me up the wall. I can't even function. I'm just like, ah. So it took me an unfortunately long time to realize I could just use audio from a different place. So it's like, come on, I just want to be done with that. And then I'll crochet it to the pillow. I'm so proud of how the pillow has turned out thus far. I mean, there's a lot of changes that I wish I could make, but I did do so much, like, do a little bit, frog it, do a little bit, frog it, do a little bit, frog it throughout the whole process, especially learning how to write and do what I wanted in the mosaic crochet. I feel like I learned so much in this process that I'm really thankful for, and I'm really excited to write up a little description and then hopefully get some folks to pattern test it, so that I can see if it would be worthwhile to have people give it a try. So because that would be pretty cool to let people have like a little, Team Edward, mosaic. Now I couldn't do the mosaic with the Team Jacob just yet. I'll probably get it done eventually, but I feel like when I to have the same dimensions as Crochet Lovely by D. Okay, sorry, I was reading the last bit. Hey y'all, I'm working on the 8-point shawl with viral rose edge. Oh, that sounds amazing. Welcome in. Yeah, I am working on creating holes in the side of a zipper. I know it looks crazy, 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 crazy. I'm making holes in the side of a zipper, heating up the end of a steel crochet hook, a size that I don't use that much. So I was like, if this gets ruined, I don't think I've ever had a project call for 1.6 millimeter hook. That sounds amazing. What colors? What kind of style are you going for? Sounds amazing. But yeah, that's why it looks pretty weird about what's going on over here. Also, I'm right by the window, and the window might be loud because, of where I live in LA. Nice to meet you too. Welcome to the channel. I hope you like it here. If you do like it here, you're welcome to subscribe, all that stuff. But, I'm really not the person who likes to be, it's just not my style to be pushy here. I feel like if you feel like you fit here, then you're welcome to stay. like we collect weirdos, we collect oddballs, we collect people who are quirky and funny and love crochet or love crafting or just love to talk. Or love to just sit back and listen and multitask and do other things. So that's what we're doing today. Shaw's ivory, the roses will be red with green. Oh my gosh, that sounds beautiful. Just like super, super elegant and gorgeous. I'm finishing up making my sister a pillow. Really, I'm just making a pillowcase, but I just keep saying pillow. Um, uh, for her wedding. She's kind of like a minimalist, so she doesn't really, need or want a lot, which, I'm totally the opposite. I'm a maximum. I'm in the geek stages of my life. Ooh, I'd love to hear about that. Yeah, tell me, if you want to share, tell me about what the geek stages of your life look like. I think embracing kind of the geek stages are super fun, so super glad that you're here. I think that this is the perfect place for you. Oh, thank you so much, Free Hanley. Yeah, it's great to see you. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't seen you in a little while, and that's not a judgment or guilt-driven statement. I'm super happy to see you. Yeah, I thank you very much. I've had 1K before, but because I wasn't posting frequently and was going through a lot of health stuff, I people unsubscribed, whether willingly or unwillingly. YouTube can be a little finicky sometimes. But I'd been there before, but I never really, but I fell out of it, out of the 1K group. So it's cool to be back. It's not something that I'm thinking about. No, I'm not monetized. I don't have the hours because from October to like almost like fully through December, I didn't have any watch hours. So I'm pretty it's not gonna happen anytime soon if it happens at all. Also, like because like I say so many cuss words, I'm not gonna be like advertising friendly and whatever. So I don't know. Monetization is something that I never really expected to have. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I've been going through some major health issues. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I hope you're feeling a little bit better. Health is, oh my gosh, it's something that's so, and I'm not saying that you did this, but it's something that's so easy to take for granted and just be like, yep, I'm healthy, and like, or just like, the ability to do things, even to just like watch YouTube videos or like participate in YouTube chats or things like that, make videos. Those things get really hard when your health is not cooperating because your health becomes your full-time job. And that's really what it was and has been for me for quite a few months. And usually is for several months of every year. Me and my mom hang out at the local nursery, and then we go to the bookstore and then brunch. Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. I love the bookstore. Actually, I like the bookstore, but honestly, like I've started. I mean, not that I ever didn't like the library, but I feel like the libraries have just been really showing up lately in a way that like I don't know, like I feel like every time I go into the bookstore, I'm like I'd rather just go to a library. But no shame to the bookstore game because that's super fun as well. But books are so expensive and they're heavy. You read them and then you got them and you're like, okay, well, so much space. Um, I have upcoming surgery July 16th. Oh, wishing you the best in that surgery. And then let's see, upcoming appointment with yet another specialist. It will be a long journey, but yet you're still here, and I'm so happy you're still here. Um, surgery's no small thing, so but I hope things go swimmingly. I hope things go smoothly, and I just hope that you can kind of get back to feeling better. I know the specialists run around. Like I'm at, not to like insert myself into your story, but just like I'm in the specialist run around myself right now, and like I can't find people who will treat me, and like they hear my diagnoses and they're like, okay, well, we can't help. Um, oh, Barnes and Noble. Yeah, I don't even know if we have a. I mean, I'm sure we have a Barnes and Noble somewhere, just not super close to me. Um, but yeah, the specialist journey and the health navigating healthcare, no matter where you are, is always challenging for sure. I'm sorry. I love the bookstore. Yeah. Nice. I'm glad that we're showing each other where the best places to go are. Yeah, there's so many crochet. Um, there's so many good crochet books out there, and ones that I feel like really help you get inspired. I love Stitch dictionaries. Those are some of my favorite books to have and like own. Rather than so like pattern books are cool for me. But once I see a pattern, it's like okay, well I can get the pattern and then I'm good. But like a Stitch dictionary where it tells you like what multiples you need, gives you kind of just free reign to use the stitch as you want. That to me is the ultimate. So we have it looks like that like it looks like the papers that have the paper hole enforcers stickers. I feel like that's what it looks like. But it's still a functioning zipper. It'll work just fine. As long as the tension on both sides is relatively even. If you have it pulling really hard on one side, it's going to kind of be a little bit, your zipper's going to get a little bit sticky, but tis what it is. So I'm going to skip the inside pillowcase idea that I was going to sew. A great Stitch dictionary. If you want to drop any books that you like, please feel free to do that. I love. Then you bought a crochet magazine. Was worth the drive. Nice. I know that there been one crochet magazine that's really been popping up a lot, but okie dokie. So here is the zip. Sorry, here is the pillow that I made. It's really hard to show it with these cameras. So actually, this is the best one to show it. So this says Skin of a Killer Bella. This is a design I made with Mosaic. Um, uh, I made with by myself with the little I know about mosaic, and then this is a Jacob from Twilight quote that I did the Crochet Stitch Dictionary by Sarah Hazel. Cool. Let me put all these on the overlay so I can find them easily. Nice. Well, thank you. I will definitely have to check those out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what yarn I want to crochet this in with. I think I might have to cut some of these ends that are longer because they might get caught up in the zipper, which is not what I want. But let me find some yarn that'll be good enough. I think I'm going to use white yarn because it seems to disappear in both of these really, really well. You love the lettering. Thank you very much. Okay, so I had white yarn somewhere. Sorry, so because of my living and moving arrangements, I haven't cleaning arrangements apparently. I don't have a ton of yarn color selections, and I don't have can't see inside this closet because there's no light inside the closet, and I usually use my phone light, which is being used currently. So okay, going back in. Okay, so this is not my ideal situation, but I do have some white cotton yarn. I had a ball of white acrylic. I don't know where it is. It was just a tiny little kind of scrap of it. But because I'm gonna find it as soon as, stop looking for it. But the show must go on, right? Okay. So I'm going to try to find the right hook size that is best for. Okay. Pretty cool. I love lettering. Yep, mine on sale through Amazon. Nice. Yeah, they can be expensive. So I'm making a pillowcase because my sister was very not helpful in helping me figure out what to make her for um, her wedding. So this is a very strange wedding present. I was gonna make two throw pillows, but due to time, the size of the pillow, how big it ended up being, and all that stuff, I decided to just make one large pillow. And sorry for any additional noise. So I think I'm going to really gonna be just figuring stuff out together right now. Okay, so now I do have some of this, but that is not the right color, and that's what I ran out of the other day. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, so I make a little slip knot here. And why am I using? I immediately went to like a hook that I had in my hand. So I think I'm gonna start with I'm gonna see what goes through this easily enough. Try to do the biggest hook that I can to get this over with. I'm hoping because and some of these I'm gonna are gonna be a little bit more of a task than others. 3mm definitely is a possibility. This is a 1.9, so put that in the wrong place. But my sister and I, we send a lot of Twilight memes back and forth. So I'm gonna close the window because I'm not burning plastic anymore. So that's a little quieter. But we send a lot of Twilight memes back and forth. So I thought it would be, and these are some of the most, popular Twilight memes. Sorry, I'm kind of like in like a little bit of a hectic state because this needs to be done like ASAP, and as per usual, it's just a little hectic over here. Oh, there it is. So I can try a 4mm. I also have. I think this is it's a C, which is a 3.5. So I can try that, and then here's a 4. So I just need to make through most of the stitches, and I can kind of push through things that it doesn't. Yeah, let's do a 4mm. It's just a cheap kit. So yeah, let's do this with the white cotton yarn that I have. I'm gonna be so annoyed when I find that white acrylic because it's gonna be super annoying, but it's just how it is. Okay. So I put a slip stitch on it already. And I haven't done much thought to this specific point of how I'm going to attach the zipper. So I guess this is kind of when I will find out. Now right now I'm going through both loops of the bottom Granted, in the gray, that is a chain, and then when I did the pillow, I went from the gray and I just went straight up. So I did like the whole length, and then I folded it in half. So this is a chain that I'm going through. I feel like at least like a slip stitch would be appropriate. Um, However, we do probably want to hide part of the chain. Let's see. Come in from the inside. I'm just playing around with things, kind of seeing how things look in different, kind of in different vantages. Because obviously I want to hide like the ugly, like burnt parts of the zipper, but I want the zipper to be functioning. Obviously, it functioning is priority number one. So actually, let's see what's going to do it a couple down. Yeah, so let's go in the fourth one down. Through. And because of the width of the stitches, I think I'm going to try to do 2 zipper stitches per 1. See, that pulled it up over it where I wanted it kind of under it. Okay, yep. Brain needs to be working for this. So loosen up this slip knot. I wanted to pull it through. That was not my intention. Okay, oh, cool. And I know that Nightbot is dropping things very rapidly. I do apologize. I've just never been good at getting the timing right on it, so it just gets a little aggressive sometimes, and I truly just I don't mean for it to be. I'm just like just pretty useless when it comes to technology. Okay, I want it to be under this. And then goes through. Wait, I want to pull this through here and here. And then go in here. So I can't yarn over that direction. Because it can't come over. Okay, so that looks good. Not really sure how to create it, or like recreate it, but we kind of have some of the edge of the zipper hidden. I'm gonna go ahead and zip up the zipper so that at least it's kind of a little bit more stable. And I've put the end of the zipper back here so that it's not starting out right where the whatchamacallit, I don't know. uh, so it's nice not starting out right where the pillow edge starts. Making sure that I'm not changing. I mean, luckily the zipper is pretty sturdy, but making sure that I'm not changing um, the bottom of it. Now, this is causing, basically, I'm just doing slip stitches on top of the pillow, and that might just be what it has to look like. I wanted it to be a little bit more invisible, but if we're not getting that, we're not getting that. So, that is just is what it is. So how many stitches you need to do um, per hole in the zipper, what size yarn, hook, all of that stuff. All of that's going to change ultimately what you're doing and how many you know stitches per stitches in the zipper per stitches in the whatchamacallit, in the pillow. All of that's going to change. And so I'm just trying to be pretty flexible about it and just make sure that the zipper is not getting too tight where I can't come in and go do this and make sure it works. But also I'm going to have to do the other side, and the other side's going to be completely unzipped. So I'm going to have to make sure that even, especially on the other side, that it's going to be even tension, so that we can have a nice pull through and fit on the pillow. And hopefully this extra little bit will just curl up inside, and I can have it slightly open so that when it's time to clean, it can easily be found, but it's not out in the open all the time. Zippers have never been my forte, even with sewing. I find them very, tricky to work with sometimes. However, obviously zippers are sometimes what you got to do. So I do like regular zippers better than invisible zippers. I just find invisible zippers to be, oh my gosh, they hurt my brain a lot. Some of these I'm if I can put 2 stitches in the same zipper hole, that's ideal because it means that it's going to be just that much more secure. But as long as it doesn't get your yarn in the way of what needs to happen, right? I'm talking like anybody cares or needs is planning to do this project right now. But YouTube's funny that way, or how I do YouTube at least. Because I feel like I'm always doing projects. I'm like, no one's gonna do this. And people might do like some kind of project, but they probably have a better way. What I was originally planning was sewing the zipper to a inner pillowcase that I made. And the inner pillowcase the um would protect the like strings and things like that from getting disrupted during laundry or anything, messing that could mess with them. However, I just don't have time for it. So hopefully that's not a huge mistake. We shall see. We shall see. Talked about it many times, but there's a strong possibility that the minute that my sister's dogs see this pillow, it's going to be just annihilated anyways. So that might be, you know, that, it might not even, all this work and like stress over this pillow might just be totally eaten in like 3.5 seconds. But it's her present, so how she takes care of it is her business. And that's what I gotta consider. I think that's a big like life lesson. And I've talked about this before. This fucking slitty ass yarn. But that's why I didn't want to work with cotton. I wanted to work with acrylic, even though acrylic can split, obviously. But it's, this is a different thing. But when you give a gift, you can't give a gift because you think someone because you want people to feel like, or people are obligated to feel good about that gift, right? So, like, you give a gift with your best intentions, and if people don't like that gift, people don't accept that gift, then you're like, that's no longer your business and how people accept gifts and whether they accept gifts. And I talk about this pretty frequently with some of my 12-step friends um, because a big part of the 12-step progress or process or one of the steps is making amends. And the thing is, a lot of people get hung up when like they're at the amends process and people don't accept their amends and they get really upset. And it's like, well, you did great work writing out what you want to make amends for, but no one is obligated to accept an apology. No one is obligated to say, you know what, like, okay, you wrote something, so I accept it. No, people don't have to. And that's a hard lesson to learn and learn continuously is like, just because you apologize, people don't have to accept that apology. And it might seem something that's so obvious when you're not in the moment, but when people don't accept your apology, in the moment, you're like what? But you're like, but I am sorry, and it does hurt. It is a um, painful experience, um, it's not your thing. So the same thing happens with gifts. Like if you are giving someone a gift, um, you lay it down for them, and hope they like it. And if they don't, then they don't. That's okay. Not everyone's gonna be a winner. You try, you do your best. Also, if if people give you free reign to pick presents for them, then if they don't like it, if they wanted something specific, they could have said it, and that's part of it as well. I'm a little worried about the structural integrity of this, not because the slip stitches are a problem or anything, but the slip stitches are standing above the rest of the pillow, or they're kind of notably above, and I feel like they might potentially catch something, like get caught on something, and tear. And because cotton's not the strongest fabric or yarn, I just feel like a little worried. I'm really just not happy with having cotton here, but I think that that's just what I have to deal with right now because I just have to get things done. So I don't know how well you can see that. You can see that white, kind of like chain-like slip stitch attached to the zipper. If you look, the zipper still should function. It's going to be a little stoppy right here because it only has tension on one side. But hopefully we can even that out and make that look nice and pretty, so that my sister gets a nice pillowcase that hopefully will last more than 5 minutes. I'm glad I can use something a little bit bigger um, than like I was worried that I was going to have to use something that was like the size that I was melting the holes with, which was a 1.6 millimeters. I was like, oh my gosh, if I have to use something that's like 1.6 millimeter, it's gonna take a minute to do all this. That is already in there. Okay, so I'm trying to get around this blanket yarn, and it's just being a tremendous pain in my ass right now. I don't know why. Okay, so let's make sure it's going through. Okay, so I think what's happening is that that's getting stuck on the zipper. There we go. Trying to moderate your tension in this process is also something that you kind of have to be aware of. Again, because you want that zipper to be nice and smooth. You don't want any extreme wrinkling or anything like that. It's going to go up there on the learning experience board, but it's also going to go on the projects that almost broke my spirit board. So yeah, I'm going to take this all the way down and try to finish this. This is where I would be like, I'm going to do this and work on another project, but I can't do that. I don't have the time. So this one's going to go into here. Yarn over, pull into this. And by doing the slip stitches rather than a single crochet, it's going to pull the zipper under the fabric of the crochet a little bit more. If I did a single crochet, it would be a little bit further out, so it would be a little bit more independent of the project. You'd see more of the zipper, so that's just an option of how you want things to look. Okay, just come on. Okay, so that's the same stitch. Okay, so some of these are starting to get really hard to pull my yarn through. So instead of trying to like yank it through, I'm going to try to be careful enough so that I don't overburden the cotton yarn, or any of the yarn really. Blanket yarn, chenille yarn, all of them are not known for their resilience. But yeah, the zipper kind of feels like paper that's made out of plastic, so just making sure that I'm not being too rough with it, because I feel like I could pretty easily rip through it, especially because it's already compromised with the holes that I burned in it. So if you came in when I was making the holes, you're in a totally different video now. because, you know, now we get to crochet and that's way more fun. The spacing I did kind of by hand, I'm a little impressed with myself on that. I'm being a little honest, pretty impressed. I feel like I did a pretty good job at spacing out how big the stitches were in the 6.5 millimeter double crochet. They're not all spot on. And where the fork is just totally different. So the fact that I got a zipper that's long enough that hopefully I won't be in that space for really any time at all, I'm super happy with. It's just making sure it goes through there, pull up enough. Make sure I pull up my stitch enough so that the stitch length is what I want. Yes, bird. I agree. So this one's still kind of in this area. You can see kind of what's going on. So I'm attaching the zipper with that slip stitch. This is what it looks like underneath. I wish that's what it looked like on top, but doing it backwards does not compute in my brain. So this is what we're getting. And I'm going to take it to the edge of the gray, kind of, and then actually, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. So if I take it here, what's going to happen is the rest of this zipper is going to just curl up into the side like this. And I think that is fine. And then once I get to the other side, what I can do is I can just kind of take some yarn and kind of go back and forth over the zipper. Wind down and get the boy and fur babies ready for bed. Oh no, totally fine. I understand. Everyone's welcome to come and go as they please. Good night. Thank you for coming so much. Yeah, is it? I guess yeah, it definitely could be late for people. Yeah, I'm on Pacific time now, so it's like 6 p.m. So I'm like going to bed. What? But no, everyone's welcome to come and go as they please. But I'll do a little stop there so that the zipper can't get caught up in there. So with this, I'm going to cut a pretty long tail, just so I can kind of play if I need to. And then, let's see, should I do one more or No, I'm not going to do it. I am going to take the end of the yarn out, just so it kind of doesn't get in my way as I'm working on the other side. Okay. So one of the things is that the sides aren't equal lengths, and that is because I made some major boo-boos in this process. So, in regardless of that bit of information, I've got to kind of figure out how I'm going to make the zipper situation work. Now, there was extra, I made the chain too long when I started the gray, and then I had to kind of figure out how to make it work with the pink side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the zipper come. I mean, there's literally just so much stuff right there that is so easy to get caught in a zipper. I mean, if you have it upside down, it's less likely because gravity is going to help you. But it's really just not great. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the two to, I'm going to combine the two sides so that it looks a little less, crazy weird, but it might still look crazy weird. That's okay. Okay, so starting out with my slip knot, verdigris. Let's see, open that up. Okay, so we're starting with the fourth one down. Yes, we're starting with the fourth one down. Okay, I'm going to pinch together where I had that that first stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to put kind of like shish kebab everything on there. This is a really wimpy little slip stitch, and it's not long enough for my needs right now, so we're going to redo her, and then I'm going to start making sure that I don't have this thing twisted and do all my shit backwards. Okay, hopefully that's okay. Then I'm going to start in the next stitch by just pulling through like that. Okay, so what's happening right now is I have twisted the, I have twisted it. So let's see. So it's like that is, those are the teeth. Those are the teeth of what I need to be going through, not the, let's see, it's supposed to be in the fourth. Go through, hold the, okay. And we're gonna go into the next stitch. We gotta kind of lay her out a little gently. This one to flip up because I let it flip up. Okay, no, it seems I actually don't like that. Okay, gotta make sure we're coming through the right direction. When you sing songs around your mistake, it seems less obvious that you've made a mistake. Everybody knows that. Okay. Next, we're going to go through the next one, including the gray component. We're going to get rid of that tail, and we're going to do that. We just have a little bit of the gray to carry through. It's inconvenient as hell, but it's going to hopefully be what we need to do. Okay. So that's going to make a bulky part around the zipper, but hopefully we don't have any problems getting the zipper to actually open and close, do what it needs to do to zip, which is what we needed to do, right? So now we're just on to the pink part. Okay, so the yarn split, so I'm going to go all the way back and make sure I grab all of it and not try to do this with some split yarn. So this one looks like it can actually double up into this. Okay, so this is working okay. The white continues to kind of disappear in the yarn a little bit. It actually disappears more in this yarn than the blanket yarn, because the blanket yarn is fluffier. So it kind of is at maximum fluff, and therefore anything on top of it kind of, works its way in, like stands out. But the chenille yarn has more space in its fluff, which is why when I did the outline for the letters, especially in white, that was really hard to find, which is what inspired me to use white for both sides. And then I don't have a gray or light pink yarn. I feel like in North Carolina, I have like all the yarns, all the colors, but we're doing what we're doing with the best we got, I've heard there's still some stuff at Joann, but it's been, I think, like over a month since I've gone at this point, and there wasn't they had a lot of the Pride yarn, but that was kind of really it. Everything else was like the stuff that people didn't really want to buy anyways. Just so you know, if you see things like someone bot trying, so what just popped up from Twitch, a bot trying to get me to buy more viewers, that's just something that there's tons of bots set up that if people are live on Twitch, they're like, buy viewers. I don't do that, clearly. But that's not my gig. So I want people who are here to want to be here. So in case you're wondering what that is and you've never seen that specific type of thing before, it's not a person, it's a program that goes on all the lives, trying to get people to buy viewership to get more money later on. And I was thinking, there was a little talk of monetization before, and monetization has been something I've been thinking about lately. And it'd be cool to get it, and also if I want to create memberships, when I can do that, and all this stuff. And for me, I do have a capacity, a limit to how much money I can make on the collection of all of my external income due to being on disability. But I also don't I can't limit everything that I crochet to something I can make money on, because it takes a lot of the fun out of it for me, and it also really I feel like it really limits my creativity in a project. For me, art and the creativity that you can put into it are always so important for me. And I'm not saying that people who sell shit um, uh, like aren't like that, just to be clear. Like I want to do markets and I want to do stuff, but like, you know, I want to sell on Etsy, but the stuff that I make is often very like odd and like off the wall, and like you couldn't search like unless you had the exact keywords, like searching for like the stuff that I make is kind of difficult. So I'm not really successful on those things. And I guess I'm thinking about that because, well, one, I've been thinking about monetization and, you know, whether that's going to happen ever or not in one, you know, on one hand. And then also I feel like someone, you know, I don't think they meant anything by it, but like someone who had been crocheting for just like a little bit of time. And this is really not me saying anything bad, but I felt like they asked me if I made a lot of money doing crochet, and I said no. But also making a lot of money on crochet isn't is something that I've had to accept as like not like what's going to make me happy and what's going to bring me fulfillment and stuff like that. And like as soon as that happened, like they left, and I don't know if that was like a coincidence or just like oh, I don't want to listen to someone who doesn't make money. Because like it was clear that this person, like even though they had just started, they were being really successful at selling stuff. And so I've kind of felt like a little bit of a dig. It might have not been, and I might be just like reading into it. Like they were very nice to me. They never said anything that was not nice to me. But it's so like it's one of those like it's a subject matter, I guess, that I think about because there was a time where I was in the mode of thinking, and I'm not saying this person was, but I was in the mode of thinking like if you're not doing something that brings money to you, like does it have any value? And the answer was felt like no. And for me to become disabled and need hobbies, but a lot of those hobbies were not creating income streams, I had to accept that I was going to do stuff that wasn't going to make money. And I don't know, like I know that I'm capable in theory of making stuff that would sell better, but I wouldn't like making it. I wouldn't like crocheting as much. Um, you know, there's a ton of stuff that people tend to buy more, and that stuff is not stuff that I like to make in general. Not because it's like, you know, oh, that's too mainstream, or like whatever. It's just like you know, you know, everyone's doing their own thing, and my thing tends to not be that thing, not be the thing that is selling well at that moment. But that's okay, you know, like the you know, I also sell things that other people don't make that, you know, makes my shop unique. Like I make packers and I try to make them affordable. I make them in a ton of colors. Because I know that having something individually and made for you is, you know, feels nice, and gender euphoria is a pretty sweet ass feeling. So I'm not gonna try to take that from anyone. Um, so I think that you know, and those aren't like huge money opportunities for me. I do make money from them, but you know, it's I'm making less and less money by the moment um, with trying to acquire yarn to do um, said packers. Okay, so I have the zipper coming together right now. As you can see, it's, you know, maybe you can see, I don't know. It's a heavy pillow, so I can't really work on it like up here because it just slides down the whole time. So just so if you're wondering what. One second. Mhm. So I feel like once I get some time, I hope to make some tutorials or something, or I don't know, get back to kind of my old some of the old things that I used to do, but also incorporate some new things and just have fun with it. Um, I I think that one thing I got tagged so many times because I crochet and because I do makeup in that like yarn makeup trend, which honestly to me is so horrifying. Not that people did a bad job, it's just like it's a horrifying look. But because people were like, "Oh, you crochet, so you have like tons of yarn, so you can do this," and I was like, I'm gonna do a hard pass on that." um, and but maybe I can think of some way to incorporate two of my hobbies into the same thing. um I know a lot of, and I want to make some more makeup YouTube videos. I feel like I haven't made any in like a couple weeks just due to my availability, and kind of not feeling so great. Thank you, Rudy, I appreciate that. um just kind of trying to control my mental health state. Um, but um, I feel like I've talked about that. Hopefully enough that people are like, yeah, we get it. You That's not good for you to not get sleep. Okay, so I'm starting to zip it up, and I'm just going to kind of see where I go to with this one. So I am gonna mark the place that I don't want to go. Pull this up a little bit. So I don't want to go into this stitch. It's too far. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and unzip it. It seems to be zipping fine. I would say it's pretty, I would say it, it's not incredibly visible. The white zipper was a good choice for a light colored pillow. The white yarn and the pink isn't insane, neither is it in the gray. I'm sure if I did one side in gray and one side in a light pink, it would be even better. However, I don't have that yarn. So I'm working with what I got, and sometimes that's what we have to do, and that's fine. So I'm going to unzip the pillow because I have to work on it unzipped. If I'm not mistaken, I think Free Hanley went to bed, Rudy. So we'll have to check some other time. Okay, and then we have this one. Now I'm not gonna use cotton yarn to make that new like zipper end because I feel like it's not strong enough and it'll be easy to just go right through that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it there, just like I ended it on the other side. And and so that's what it looks like. And so this is gonna be it all zipped up minus the ends sticking out because that's not the goal. Oh wait, this one I put over the edge, didn't I? Whoopsies. Pull that through rather than doing a slip knot. Or not slip knot. Whatever. Okay, so this zips just fine. So if the yarn wanted to travel with it, but it sticks in fine as well. So this little piece is going to get shoved in here. So just like that. So that it looks like this. And then this end, I'm going to put, right here, I'm going to put that little stopper. Now, I have, like, I pulled the, I think I threw it away. So it's like, I had a little staple that I pulled off the zipper, but I don't think I have that right now. Mm-hmm. Trying to, when I think about what I have in terms of like stronger yarn, I don't know. So the thing is, if the zipper goes into the space that I create, it has the capability of getting tangled on yarn. And I don't want that. With a couple staples, I feel like would be really nice. So, and I don't know how to like reattach. I don't know how to take off the zipper end here and reattach it earlier in the thing. That's without just like crushing it. Yeah, I feel like a zipper would be nice. So I'm gonna look for something that can close this, but I think overall, like this is pretty much done and I'm happy with it. Even if I don't put anything on it, I think that we can still make it work by doing this and sewing up the edges. So just pull it right in there. Pull that little red piece out. So it's just kind of tucked in the edge right there. And then we'll sew up the pieces. Do you have a sewing machine? Yes, I do. This is way too thick to go through a sewing machine. I know that you can sew over the end. My sewing machine is very yeah. So I have, and I do have just like sewing thread that I could hand sew it over. But I just worry about it getting caught on the thread or any yarn. So I know there's methods out there. I'm just not as confident that it'll ruin the zipper or not. But thank you, Mrs. Craftsalot Lair. That's a cool name. I like that. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of turn this a little bit inside out. And I'm going to, and I've sewn across the zipper before to shorten it. It's just getting it into a good position given how bulky the rest of this is. And I just don't have a lot of room to work with. I know that's an option for sure. And thank you for reminding me. I don't think that's what I'm going to end up doing, but it is a possibility. So I'm going to take this yarn. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that the edges of the pillow are sewn. I have this like tiny little cheap machine, and it's just it's I haven't used it yet, but I just got it like I just got it. I'm like super afraid that I'm gonna break it the first project I try to use it. So I'm gonna take these 2 yarns that were extras from both sides, for the tails from both sides, and I'm going to tie them a little bit, and then I'm gonna sew them kind of back and forth so it's nice and protected. Are you working on anything, Mrs. Crafts? Miss Crafts a lot? I always like to hear what people are working on. I live vicariously through people, especially in times like this when I'm working on projects where I'm like, oh, I just can't wait for it to be done. You know, those moments at the end of a project where you're just like, please release me from this prison. That's where I'm at. But luckily, I mean, it was a bit of a time crunch, anyways. You know, I had so little time to between getting the yarn, doing the project, writing a pattern in a style that I never actually really have, you know, even completed a project in, and all of that. You know, that was a bit of an undertaking to say the least. But you know, I feel like sometimes that time pressure really pushes me forward, pushes me out of my um, oh, you just made a crossbody purse, so I had to learn about zippers. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So what did you end up doing? So did you crochet the purse and then you sewed on the zipper? You're sizing up a knitted t-shirt. Whoa, that sounds cool and also difficult. That sounds really difficult. Sizing is no joke. Yeah, I feel like we don't talk about it enough. It just gets like, oh yeah, and then he has it to fit. And you're like, that's actually really, really hard. At least for me, like my brain doesn't work in sizing. It's just yeah, that's something that's really hard for me. I don't even know how many like skeins to buy when I want to make something. That is really difficult for me. So props to you. I would love to see that. So one way that I do, and this is no pressure, just if you want to show it off, you actually sewed it. So you sew it to the crochet itself. Because I would do that, but I'm working with like 6 weight blanket yarn, and like there's no way it's going through a machine, especially a really cheap machine. But if you are on Facebook, and you would like to join the group, it's just so you can show things off, show your progress. If you have questions, like you might get some cool feedback. I post a lot of just like crochet inspiration. So no pressure. But I do that so that people, because oftentimes if people are the green pill, and it's called Army of Weirdos. There's a couple of groups that have the same name. This is the one with the green pillow. Purse was fabric. Oh, okay. Nice, very nice. Yeah, I love sewing, but it takes up so much room with like making sure you have your table like available to do the sewing, but then also storing the yarn, not yarn, sewing the storing the fabric is, to me, like I have a small apartment in LA, and even when I had a lot of space, storing fabric was like the biggest hurdle of sewing, because it's just like I'm like, where do I put all of this? This is so much. And again, because I don't, it's like and then you end up with all these scraps and you want to use them and you don't, you're like, no, I don't want to throw it away, but I don't really know how to use it right now. So you keep the scraps, and at least that's me. I have a lot of personal dilemmas apparently, just around crafts. Love the green pillow. Thank you. It's not my design. It's I might have been removed in the great purge of like naughty things from uh from Etsy. It's a pattern called it's either they like star some things out or they call it this effing pillow. They also have other designs that are really, really cute. Let me see if I can find it. I love dropping links to other designers. It was very easy to make. And sorry if my video gets a little weird. Sometimes it does when I try to go on other web pages and stuff. Let's see. I could probably just look in my purchases. It's been a long time since I made that. And I want to make it again and make it better, but there's so much stuff that I have bought. Like, so many patterns that I bought that I haven't made. Like, what the hell? Rude. But I just see something and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Not a crazy amount, but enough where I need to make some of these things. Okay, my mouse is going haywire. So apologies. Oh wait, I could just. Oh wait, I don't think I can. Oh wait, I can search on my. Yeah, it's called This Fucking Pillow. Okay, so. Now, I can share the listing, but when I put the link in, it's going to put a question mark at the end that will not be included in the link. It does this all the time. I don't know why. If you want to check this out, it's a $5 pillow pattern. You have to do the whole link, not just what is included in the highlighted section. So you have to include the question mark. Because people will click on it and then they're like, your links don't work. And I'm like, try it with a question mark. So I don't know why it doesn't include it, but it happens a lot. A lot. Okay. And although I will say, depending on your proficiency with like things like making your own graphs and stuff like that, I think that, it's one of those things that you can kind of figure out. But at the time, it was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I mean, it's still very cool, but now that I know that skill, I'm like, oh, I can make that pretty straightforward. Anywho, it's a pillow that says fuck. Okay. So I have. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh. Scared the fuck out of me. Oof. I'm such a jumpy person. Oh no. Okay, this came out. You're going back in, you little bitch. Okay. So, this is what it looks like. Skin of a Killer Bella. So this is a pattern that has not yet been pattern tested. Hopefully soon I'll get this pattern tested. It is mosaic crochet. So Skin of a Killer Bella. And then the back, which will not be pattern tested because it was all freehand. Yeah. But this is surface crochet that says, "Where the hell you been, Luca?" I know that it's not perfect, but it's good enough for me, and hopefully my sister likes it. I'm looking forward to, you know, having a pillowcase to fill it, and hopefully that will erase a multitude of sins. So now that we've done that, we can get to other projects. And less than 2 hours in, I thought honestly that zipper part was going to take forever, but glad to have that over with. Okay, so I am currently adding the fringe onto this rainbow top. So I am currently working in the yellow section, and I'm working my way outwards. So let's make some fringe. my cat just discovered that he liked yarn last night, which I was like, no, you're about to undiscover that because we're not about to have that game going on. And so I'm trying to keep him away from all the goods. Okay, so I think I just need I need 6 more yellows. Let me make sure I don't have any hiding behind. Also, if you're wondering why I look like why I have like all my yarn on my bed, it's because usually I film on my bed, and I have all my crochet stuff next to me, and so you can't see it when I'm filming. But because I'm filming here, because it's more comfortable, and also with that pillow, I really needed more space. I yeah, you can see me actually having to go to my bed and get all of that. So I think that, okay, so I have a couple here. So I'm gonna need 6 here, and then 9, 10. Okay, so I'm gonna need 10 pieces that are 28 inches long. And then we're just gonna use the cut yarn to cut the rest of the pieces. So this is also a top that I got the pattern off of Etsy. I've not been able to find the listing again. So I don't think it's currently listed, at least not on Etsy anymore. And I think that there could be multiple reasons for that. With a digital pattern, it never really, it's not like you're like, oh, I have to keep making these and all that stuff, and I'm tired of making these. So, but you might not be selling them anymore because there's so many free. Oh, hey, little lurking crystal. I don't know why I said that's so weird. So weird. Sorry. Um, but I haven't been able to find the listing. But the top itself is made. The cups themselves are made in the same way that a lot of bra cups are made. But I changed the band underneath, the straps that go over, how the back is done, all of that, because I felt like, to me, now granted, I don't wear tops like this. Being a trans man, I don't like. That's not something that makes me feel comfortable, and pass. But I do know that when I was wearing tops, like bikini tops and stuff like that, like the types of stuff that I that would be like this, things about support, uh, under boob sweat, making sure everything's supportive, including like not just like the neckline, but also around the back, making sure that's secure, like everything, all of those elements I really wanted to consider and really make a thoughtful product that people could feel like very secure in, and like no matter what their size was. So that it's actually kind of, because there's a lot of like festival type tops out there, but I feel like a lot of them, I don't feel like if I wore tops like this, and this is no like shade to anybody, but I don't feel like I would feel insanely supported, if that makes sense. So that's why I made a top for bigger bust like this. Okay, so that is 10. Okay, and this is just a simple tassel. So this was in part of the pattern. So the pattern was called the Melted Rainbow. And the reason why is because you get these beautiful rainbow cups, And then you also create this beautiful fringe moment with all of the colors of the rainbow. Looks like they're dripping. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Um, so I bought it, and then after putting it together and doing other tops, I was like, oh, this isn't that different. But you know, I bought it, so gonna use it. Like it's okay. You know, it's okay when things are similar to other things. I think the hardest thing about a top like this is sizing when you're working on sizes for other people because it's not very clear how the sizing can be done sometimes unless you have like a very detailed chart, which is time consuming and difficult to make. I understand. You know, I've talked about this a little bit and talked about it with Crystal, I think, on live, but you know, I know it's a lot of work to do that, but making sure people know what size to order and I know what size to make for them is kind of the hardest part. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then I'm going to put it on this side. Put these scissors up. They're sliding around, making me nervous. So just doing simple loops. I know that they're not the most secure attachment for tassels, but because there's so many, I find that it's still pretty securable way to have everything attached. And basically for every row that there was in the top, I'm putting 2 pieces of fringe in it so that it's nice and fluffy. Yesterday, I kind of showed an example of what it looked like between 1 layer of fringe and 2. And the coverage you get from 2 layers is significantly higher than just 1. So that's why I like to put 2 layers. Just feel like it looks a little nicer, looks a little cleaner, and then it covers up the strap underneath. And also, you know, like I'm not super comfortable with my stomach. I know a lot of people aren't super comfortable with their stomach, so give some coverage there as well. So I'm going to need 6 for each of these. So that's going to be 12, so that's going to be 24 total. So I'm just going to make a of orange. And this is, I know I keep saying like, oh, this is close to the last thing. This is like, no, this is like actually the last thing that I need to do for this top. And then it is done. As far as I can remember, unless something pops up, I hope nothing pops up. I just want to be done because honestly, that would be 2 whips finished in the same day, which would be pretty nice. That doesn't happen all the time, but especially when you've been working on things for a while. So we're going 28 inches because it's going to be folded in half and it's going to be about 14 inches. That's just a length that I found for me was nice. There might have been some guidance in the pattern, but I think that's what I ended up doing. So I'm going to cut the first one here and then put this out of the way so it doesn't accidentally get cut. And we're just going to cut a bunch of orange. Itch my nose when I'm trying to stab myself in the face. I did this foundation wear test a couple weeks ago, and my skin has not been. How is the pillow? The pillow is finished. I just finished it right before you came on, actually. I attached the zipper. I was going to do an inside pillowcase that would kind of protect the ends. But I was like, I don't have time for this, like, blah, 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 blah. So I ended up using a really small crochet hook, and I kind of like make holes in there. It's all in the kind of the beginning of the me making holes in the zipper. It's at the beginning, but this is how the zipper turned out. So I took the fork method just didn't work. I don't know. I think it must have been that it was maybe hard to distribute the heat of the flame to all of the prongs. So like they weren't getting evenly heated and melty enough. So I used like a 1.6 millimeter hook, which I was like, that's a random size. And then I wanted to use acrylic, but I couldn't find it. So I used white cotton yarn to slip stitch into there. And then I have extra length of both sides of the zipper that are kind of hidden on the inside. It's kind of a little sketchy, you know, because like you open it and there's like all this shit right here, but you know, I would have preferred that be covered up by the pillowcase I was gonna make, but I was like, when I came on, I was a little panicked and I was like, I don't have time for this. I was like, so I'm just gonna make I'm just gonna do the zipper and just figure it out. Because I was like, I don't have any time left really. It's Wednesday. I'm leaving basically really late tomorrow night to go to the airport. So I don't really have time for this. And so I just did the thing. Just did the thing. Are there things that I would change? Of course, but you know, that's just how it is. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited that, you know, progress has been made. Actually, not just progress, it's been done. Thank you. Yeah, the zipper, you know, I had kind of a moment. I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, the zipper was definitely a little bit of a conundrum to me. Kind of figure out what the best way to do it was, but I appreciate that. Yeah, and I think I could have crocheted like a flap. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I haven't it's be my first time to North Carolina since I moved to California in October. Didn't mean to move to California, it just happened. It's a really strange thing. But this will be my first time home. My little sister is getting married, so I can't wait to be there for her. I forgot I messed up the day that she was getting married. I thought she was getting married on Saturday, so I got my flight in on Friday afternoon. Turned out she's getting married on Friday afternoon, literally 45 minutes after I land, and the airport is about 45 minutes away from where she's getting married. So I might be late, but I've already talked to her and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, whoopsie doopsie, that's all on me and I'm so sorry. And she's cool. And so at least like, you know, assuming nothing else goes awry, I should be there without too much, uh, you know, in the event that anything else pops up. I really hope nothing else pops up. I can't take it. And then this really just doesn't have much left to it. It's just something that takes time um, rather than, you know, energy or thought. Um, because after this is done, I will have this one done. This one, the latest I am supposed to ship it out is the 4th. And I'm getting back the like 2nd or something. So I might kind of leave it here and just send it out later. Or if I have time tomorrow, I might go to the post office because I've tried to do the scheduled pickup and they're pretty inconsistent with the scheduled pickup where I live specifically. So I'd rather not have it hanging out here, like waiting to be picked up, because things don't tend to stay waiting to be picked up here. Crystal, I got an Aspello. So someone stole something else of mine, and I'm like, I need to just stop getting stuff shipped. Why do I keep doing this? So someone stole the little handheld vacuum that I wanted, but that I'm gonna have to issue a stolen thing about it. But I got an Aspello. I haven't tried it yet. So if you don't know the journey of the Aspello, let me tell you more. So basically, I either sit here to do. Typically, I do my makeup tutorials here, and I can spread my stuff out a little bit, or I do my crochet stuff over there. And between both of them, especially sitting upright on my bed, it hurts my back a ton. So I wanted to get a cushion for like lumbar and make my seat, if you will, to support me. However, I the first one I ordered got stolen. So I have been, this is like super vacuum packed. So someone stole it, and this one came in 2 parts. I knew that I could do one that was like all together, but so this is just ass cushion. Probably needs to inflate a little bit more. And then this is a like lumbar cushion that you can put over your chair, like so, and you can adjust it, and boom, that's color. I don't, I don't know if it's doing anything. It was a really cheap one, so it might just be like the cushion in the world, but you know, we'll see. Let me get you a little closer. A little drinky right here. So the saga of the ass pillow may or may not continue. Hopefully it doesn't continue because I'm tired of it, but you know, miracles happen. So, and the inside, that's where the red comes together. And uh, I think when I did it last time, well, first I have this pleat right here that's open, which might have a tendency to show, and I'm not sewing it down because I think it'll be fine. But I might need more red than my typical roll. Hopefully better than no asphalt. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like it's so squishy, and like inflated so quickly. I'm like, I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, hopefully it doesn't hurt. I mean, at least the back part feels nice. So That's yarn that's already touched. And I know I can make it longer and have like and cut it to be like an even size or like an even bottom, but I actually kind of like the way that it looks where it's like not even. Not sure if other people like that or not, but for me it looks like a little bit more organic and just kind of like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. So so I just kind of keep it where I cut all the strips approximately the same length, and then I uh cut them all approximately the same length and then let them fall, and then I don't do any additional cutting to make sure that they're the same length now or anything like that. So somehow this orange got caught in like part of this yellow. Don't like that, but okay. Hey Zach, welcome in. Thank you, Rudy, for the time check. We're getting through some projects today. Feels good, feels nice, happy about it. So all I have to do is finish this fringe. And I feel like there's been so much where I'm like, oh, we're so close. I just have to do this, 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 this. And so I've been saying for a little while that I'm really close to being done. And it really does feel like I'm being done, close to being done, because there's, they all feel like small things, but then they end up piling up and taking hours and hours and hours. Okay, so I have 6 on this side. And then I have to do 8 more on this side. Okay. Um, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so if this is done before I leave, there's a possibility I could be able to send, which would be nice. I still need the same exact yarn to do the other top. And I might even bring this top just to have it as like a guide about like, oh yeah, make sure to do this and do this, whatever. But I won't. Actually, that might be best to, because I can. I mean, it's a lot of yarn to carry. It's 8 different skeins of yarn that are typical yarn skein size for all the colors of the rainbow. Um, Finishing crochet projects. I mean, that's valid. That's a good question. Good question and a good answer. Yeah, finishing crochet projects can be tedious. Because I'll feel like I'm like, I'm almost done, and then I have to add this detail and this detail and this detail. And I think I've said that so much in the past like several days, and it's like, actually maybe I'm not that close. Maybe I need to like face the music here a little bit, but feels like I'm really close, and then I'm not. I would say related to crochet, hiding tails the worst. Actually, I like sewing in my ends, but I never feel like I'm good at it. But I've kind of let go of that like judgment. I'm like, you know what? They get what they get. Like I try and I sew it in so it's secure, but if my tails pop out, I'm like, you know what? That's just what happens. Uh, you know, it just is what it is. I know that Mama Gwen over at TL Yarn Crafts, TL Yarn Crafts mom, she weaves in her ends and then uses fabric tack to like she'll like pull it a little bit, she'll cut and then she'll put fabric tack and then she'll kind of pull on the project a little bit to pull those ends through. For me that didn't work for a lot of people. After they tried it, they said that it worked really well. But for me, it didn't work. But I think part of that is because I use primarily acrylic yarn, and I don't think fabric tack adheres to plastic. So I think that might be the problem. But I lament so much. Also, if you want to drop your channel name, you're welcome to. So your channel tag, so not the link, because if you're not a moderator here, you can't drop a link. That's kind of standard on YouTube. So not a link and not just your name. Like if you have spaces or anything like that, any symbols, like none of that's going to show up. How you find your tag is if you go to your channel, if you go under the name, there is like an @ and then it says something else. And that's how uh, people can find you, because otherwise there's like I could search exactly what it says, like Miss Craftslot's lair, and I would never be able to find you in search. I don't know why YouTube makes it so hard to search, but if you want to share that, you're welcome to. I'm totally for. How did you? Oh wait, Crystal, you're confusing me. I was like, how did you drop a link? I was like, that's that's really the weirdest part to me right now. Okay. So thank you, Crystal, for doing that. Yeah, that but Crystal, Hook That Yarn just dropped your link for you. Thank you, Crystal, for doing that and confusing the fuck out of me. Okay. So we had a little bit of a tangle on our hands, but we're on to the second to last color. And so this has 2 rows on each side. So it's going to be 4, 8, 16. So we're going to have 16 strips of this. So I also added this detail, which is something I said that I thought I had done before, but I don't think I actually did before. But because I said it, I'm going to do it. So what's revealed between the red fringe and the so this is what the back looks like. No, it's not like hanging out right, but like so this is what the back looks like. It's upside down, whatever. So it's got a uh, what's happening? I don't know. Anyways, so this is a corset back tie. It's got 2 pieces of boning on each side. You threw me some yarn. Oh wait, you threw someone else some yarn. That's the thing. Duh. Well, I'm happy yarn is being thrown. But it's got 2 corset pieces right here. That looks like it could be sewn a little bit better, but the boning keeps this straight, and then there is a lacing tie in the back with a cord that I made. So lots of pieces. I'm not sewing these in. I'm done with sewing the shit in, so they get what they get. Now I'm gonna get rid of this tangle and this pink yarn, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming of finishing some fringe. Okay, so we got a little knot right there. Crystal's over here throwing yarn and then running away. Okay, so same operation of getting the proper length of yarn. And you can make this as long or short as you want. You can make a design of like having like a chevron. Oh, that's so nice. I'm so glad that you all are supporting each other. That's what this channel is all about. Feeling good and helping other people grow their channels and whatnot. So love that for everyone involved. I'll try to remember to throw some in your window once I end my live. Okay, just got yarn and attaching to things. I'd love to show some support. I know that Nightbot has brought it up about 100,000 times at this point. I've brought it up about 100,000 times at this point. But if you can donate, participate, or any other aid in the charity fundraiser that I'm doing on the 21st of next month, I would really appreciate that. It's for Alzheimer's awareness. It's on June 21st. I know that a lot of us will be busy with pride projects or just normal life projects. And but anyone who is willing to help out, I will greatly appreciate it. It's been something that I really wanted to do, and I tried to give a lot of heads up about it. And that's a little quiet for my taste. So I think that I'm getting a little worried that no one is gonna show up, and I'm going to do this thing that I'm really passionate about, and it's going to be a little bit of a but hey, if that doesn't happen sometimes in life, right? So I just feel like I'll, if I mention it, at least I can't come back and say like, wow, I wish I tried more and whatnot. Look, there it is right now. So that is donating directly to my team, to the fundraiser that I'm doing. I'm also going to be doing a auction. And so if you have items, whether they be physical, like something you made, whether they be yarn that you're willing to donate and send to someone, and you can have restrictions on like it's got to be continental US or something like that, anything like that. Digital, so giving someone a digital pattern that you wrote or something like that, or a gift card to a store, whether it be yarn related or not. That could be really nice. I don't have a ton of money to do the to give away things. So I'm kind of hoping that we can all kind of work together to work for a good cause. But I know things are tight for everyone, so um, but any help that you could give, even if it's like, hey, I'm gonna come up on stream for a little bit if you want, and hang out and be with you, because I plan on being on stream quite a bit, uh, just to be with everyone. The auction should be in the first little part of of the stream, so people kind of know what time to prepare for that. Okay, so I don't have all of them cut, but I have most of them cut, so I kind of make sure that the ends are approximately the same height. So each, here is a hook to hook. There's one. It is quite warm in this room, but I think it's just because I'm like in the corner. I also get pretty hot when I'm doing makeup here. I have my little fan right here. Hopefully that's not too loud on the audio. It's got other settings, but that's the lowest, so it'll just give me like a little bit of air circulation up in here. We're so close. 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 Also in this listing for this top, I have the option to add multiple, like those like molded cups to the project. However, those don't go up that high in cup size, which I'm like, they're the people who need it the most. Like I don't understand why you only go up to it's like a D cup with your like and barely go up to a D in the cup department. I wonder if there are like sewing places that have other options. You wouldn't just have to like dismantle like large bra. I don't know. I'm only thinking about ways to like make it better and whatnot, but that usually takes more time. And then I haven't really updated this for how much things cost anymore. So I think I'm probably losing money on this one, but you know, it is what it is. Just because I kind of forgot that I had this listed. I just need to get some better pictures of it too, because I don't have great pictures of it. Okay, so that is the end of that color. And we will attach her. Okay, and we're getting to the last color, getting to the last color. Did I just combine whatever song I was singing to Percolator? Yes, I did. You noticed? Good for you. You didn't. That's okay. We can still be friends. Okay. So it's all done, but the red, I love the way it looks so far, and I love the fact that it's almost done. Okay, I'm back. What I miss? Okay, so there are six, uh, 6, 12, 24 potentially, but again, with this being the middle color, it could be more, it could be less. It's just about getting some coverage where I need it. So just going to kind of play around with how it looks rather than focusing heavily on numbers. Okay, just go somewhere, Jesus. So if you haven't already said what you're working on and you do want to share, I would love to hear. If you don't want to share, that's cool too. So I mean, I'm not gonna force you to share what you're making, but I always like hearing that. I'm kind of like ready to move on from the projects that I've been working on for the past couple weeks. So I'm kind of like living vicariously through everyone else. Good night. Good night, Miss Crafts. A lot. I don't know why I keep on having to read it. It's kind of far away from me, so that's my eyeballs are like not. I have this bright light in my eyes, so let's just blame that. But good night. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. You're always welcome to come hang out, and hopefully, we can all make our way over to to your channel, and support you along your YouTube and crafting journey as well. Have a good night. Hands are getting a little tired. Just kind of like holding the tassel, turning the tassel, all that stuff. But we're so close. So close I can taste it. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a go. Make sure I'm in the middle. It's pretty close. We're just randomly picking it up there. Okay, so I'm going to do the outsides of the rainbow first, so I can focus kind of the rest of the yarn and everything, my attention on making the inside look good. Mm-hmm. With the fringe, it does look like a melting rainbow. I know, right? It just like it transforms the whole kind of top into something entirely different. Because like first you're like, okay, it's like a bikini top, and then you're like, oh, then there's this weird like beige strap underneath. Which I do always ask people if they are not like I always ask like if you want it to be to match your skin tone, like give me an idea of what that looks like so that I can get yarn that matches. Because that's important to me too. Because it's supposed to be kind of like closest to your skin tone, so that um, if you want it, so that you can kind of blend that a little bit. But yeah, that's with the added fringe. I mean, that's what caught my eye immediately, which is like, oh my gosh, this looks so amazing. And making sure I'm not pulling yarn through from like other sides and stuff like that. So I laced up the back, and I think with the color on the sides, it's a little bit much. I don't like the color on the sides, if I'm gonna be honest, but because I told someone I would do that, I'm doing it, but I just don't like the way it looks. So we're gonna kind of see how um, much we need for the middle. And this is the part where I'm like, I don't really hold back in how much I'll lay down, how much fringe I'll lay down. I just want it to look good. Yeah, and like I said, I could cut it into like some kind of shape or whatever, or like cut it straight, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Too fucking lazy for that. It's 10 more seconds that I have to be working on this that I don't want to be. Okay, so I think that was just kind of like one layer. I need to cut quite a bit more to get to lay like one delay. Do, 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 do. I don't know what that song was, so don't ask. Whenever I put these scissors down, they kind of like catch on my yarn if it's in the same realm, and I'm like, God, don't cut Don't cut into this top because I don't want to have to redo the whole fucking thing. I can't handle that right now. I will have a mental breakdown on camera right now. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with this amount. This is like 6 or 7. Let's see how this looks. Wow, I cannot crochet with my left hand, apparently. Even hooking yarn with my left hand, I was like, what? And yes, I did make that noise. So, deal. Okay, so just kind of playing it over, seeing how it hangs over certain spots in the work. Suddenly, you are a lefty. Yeah, just for one stitch, and I'm like, nope. Tried it. Nope, not working. What if you just woke up one day and just crocheted with and did everything with the other hand? Assuming you're not ambidextrous, and then it's a change. There's this like therapeutic journaling practice where you crochet with your non-dominant hand, and like every time I do it, I'm just more frustrated that I can't I can't like write letters or write like anything, and so I just spend like the whole time just trying to figure out like how to hold a pencil rather than like writing anything that would like have like a sudden breakthrough. I'm like, this is not the exercise that's gonna heal me. This is the exercise that's gonna break me, and like I can't. I freaking can't. As a challenge. I don't know which part. The therapy part is not for a challenge. It's supposed to like help you access like different like memories and stuff. It's wild. Apparently, it works really well, but I spend the whole time just being really frustrated that I can't freaking write. So it's not like, can you do it? Is this like, no? It's just like it's supposed to help. Oh, the left hand crocheting. Oh, that would be honestly. I don't want to send people to an early grave because honestly, I would be there. Like just like I can't do it. Okay, so this is it. Boom, 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 and this is the back, which I know it's a little hard to see because I left these ends hanging because I was like, I'm not sewing these in. But there's the the corset style back that you tie it in, and then, or it helps with memory recovery. Yeah, it's apparently it's like some kind of I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what therapy it falls under, but yeah. So, but yeah, like memory cover recovery and like healing, or like it's like connecting with your inner child, so it's like healing from PTSD, like PTSD type of treatment thing. Um, but yeah. So here we go. This is our project finally done. I think for whatever reason, like normally I'm like, I don't like using non-traditional rainbow colors, even though traditional rainbow is like a totally oxymoron thing. Um, but for some reason, putting the pink in here changes the whole top to me. Also, the turquoise is a good touch, but like the pink, for some reason, the way it moves the orange to the red is just so nice to me. I feel like this is such a fun top. This is a lot of, just to give you an idea of how much fringe it comes to. Like I would say, like this is all of the fringe that comes off the top. So you can see that with my hand, I've almost like I'm almost it's almost full uh, amount here in gross. Just so you know how truly how much that comes. It's not fun though. I mean, it's like a little gay pom pom. That's exciting. And then yes, the top. I leave it this way. It's a little long, depending on the person, but if they reach out to me and they're like the top's way too long, a lot of these bits like they can cut if they're too long. And they would be able to pull it until they reached a slip knot, and they would be able to cut some off. They can cut off some of the bottom if they want, but it's not super long. Like I said, I didn't leave it to a point where like if they wanted to, or if I wanted to, I could cut everything to be the same length, but that's because I don't care about that. So yeah, so this top is done. We finished 2 things in one night, and we're less than 3 hours in. That's a ton of fringe, like a whole skein of yarn. Yeah, that's why I'm like getting it done. I was like, oh, this takes forever. Now we have one more with okay, so we have we have this top that is effectively the same as the other. It's just a different size. So the amount of stripes in between each of them, or for each color, is different, or maybe different, I guess, depending on what you're working on. So this has 2 more colors out that it needs to do. It needs the pink. I know, 2 projects done in one night feels amazing. Also, I'm like, okay, I am tired. I'm kind of tempted to take like a 10-minute break. Be cool with that? So I'm just gonna write 10-minute break just in case anyone walks in, and stretch, take care. Oh my gosh, I said 100-minute. That's slightly different than a 10-minute break. Gonna take a break and then come back and work on this, because those are my commissions. Those are my well, the project I had to do obviously for my sister, and then my commission, and then the other commission I have open. I don't have any other commissions open at the second. So feels good. And I guess the more I can get done before I have to go on my trip, coming back, the less I have to. I mean, I'll still have to carry all that yarn with me, but then at least I can, you know, feel like I've accomplished something. And like when I'm just like hanging out with my friends at their house, I can crochet if I want to, or just, be in the moment, actually hang out with them, whatever. So I'm gonna do a 10-minute break. Uh, I encourage you to do the same. Get comfortable. If you've been crocheting and in an uncomfortable position, get comfy. And I'll see y'all back in a little bit. Mm. So I decided to cut the break a little short because I'm looking down at my crochet and I'm like, you know what? I finished 2 projects today. I've been on for almost 3 hours, and to finish 2 projects that I've been working on for a while feels so good. So I think that I might actually not try to, continue to work on this, even though it's an easy project to do. Especially in this part, it's very simple. Um, it's just single crochets for it. I think that so this is just so you know, this is where I'm at, and each cup looks like this, where they don't have the pink attached yet. So what's required for this is the pink and red stripes on it, and I'm just thinking, this would be a good time to take a little break and not burn myself out on crochet right this second. Maybe think a little bit more about my trip, how I want to plan it, and just kind of chill out a little bit. I think that that would be really nice. So I came back from my break a little early, just because I was looking down. I was like, okay, I'm gonna crochet. No, I don't really want to. And in that, I feel like it's good to set some limits and listen to my body and my brain in that aspect, and just say, you know what, I feel like I did a good job at finishing a lot of projects today, and I'm excited to just kind of put down crochet for the evening. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna respect those boundaries in my head, and kind of wait. I don't believe that I'll be going live tomorrow through maybe Tuesday. I'm getting back on Monday, and late here, so it'll be super late on the East Coast, and then well, not super late, but it'll be pretty late here. So I'm going to not be filming on Monday, and then I probably won't go live on Tuesday, just in the sake of like recovering from jet lag and potentially or just whatever the weekend throws at me. So I won't be live until next week, probably. Yeah, and then I'll be back to my regularly scheduled shenanigans once I come back, and that hopefully means that depending on if I decide to bring this project with me or not, because it does take up so much yarn to travel with. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I'll start packing my bags and see how much room it does take. Thank you for hanging out with me this whole time. I really appreciate it. And just anytime you hang out with me, it's always a pleasure. It's always fun to talk to you all. Even if you're lurking, it means a lot to me just to have people around, and it keeps me motivated. At this point, I pretty much only crochet in front of the camera, so it'll be different to crochet in some different locations. Even though I've crocheted in all kinds of weird places, like on the LA bus system. That was a fun one. Especially when half of it was detangling some hellish yarn carnage. So I think I'm going to take a break from this for tonight, and hopefully I will see you within the next week or so. And I'm going to be posting, I think, 2 makeup videos on my makeup channel. So if you follow my makeup channel and you want to watch those, you can. But I don't think I'm going to be posting anything on Ian is Weird. So thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. If you like this camera setup, I'm really feeling it. I really like that you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit more. I'm liking that I can do it without the insane echo, because that always makes me want to rip my hair out and rip my skin off. So glad that I don't have to do that. If having this camera run, or not camera, this little tiny fan running off camera is too much noise or anything, let me know. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna log off and chill a little bit for yep, exactly, chill for a little bit. So thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great evening and a great weekend, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.